On this episode of Real Estate on the Rocks, we're going to talk about 5 strategies to crush it in 2020.
Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
Welcome back. It is the last day of the year. I know we're not supposed to date the episodes. However, we're excited about this one. So happy New Year's Eve to everybody out there. We're going to go ahead and drop some knowledge bombs real quick to help you crush it in 2020. And so my name's Dave Snowberger. I'm joined in the studio today, as always, with my, I'm going to call you a trusty sidekick. Is that good?
That works for me.
My Robin Hood.
I don't know about the tights, but that works for me.
Batman to your Robin Hood.
Oh, geez. Well, what's that make you?
Ninja.
James Mendez the Ninja. the
Little John?
I was going with Penguin or Joker. I don't know.
Right. Well, he's not rotund enough to be Penguin, and he's too pretty to be Joker. So, you know. Anyway, James Mendez is joining us in the studio today. He's the guy behind the glass that we give him a mic, and we instantly regret it almost every time we do. So let's go ahead and kick it into high gear here. We want to thank Mike Harrell over at Guaranteed Rate for making this a glorious year. Mike, what you've done for our team is absolutely appreciated, and anybody else out there that's looking for a fantastic lender, please text Magic Mike over at 88000. Fantastic with Guaranteed Rates. That's our guy right there. He just closed one yesterday, right?
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. That's fantastic. I mean, get it done before the end of the year.
Got to get those.
I think we have
2019 numbers in.
I told him before Christmas, and we had a slight delay. So
yeah, I think Stephen Harms down in Corpus Christi, our agent down there, has got one more closing here. So hopefully we can knock out the rest of this year and start it strong for 2020. So we're going to help you do that right now. Marshall, let's go ahead and kick it off. What's the number one tip out here that can help the listeners, the new agents, the old agents, the not old, but you know, like older, experienced, seasoned. Got to be a little
at least 2 years in the business,
a little kinder to the older folk out there. But give it to me, man. Number one,
learn to use your phone inside and out. So, I mean, a lot of people know how to use their phone. I think you know how to answer it by now. You probably know how to send out a text message, but I use my phone for everything, editing videos. I mean, just about everything. So learn to use it very efficiently, know how to work all the settings in there, know how just about everything. And I have an Android, so I think they're a little bit more expandable. James, you'll probably disagree with me and say that the iPhone has everything that you need.
I'm always going to be all iPhone. You can't do a lot of the customizations that you can with Android, but it also provides more security with iPhone, and better apps, quality of apps, and less bugs that I've noticed with them. But either way, as long as you're using it and using your calendar, using those apps that they have for like MLS and Revive, and there's a bunch of different ones that are coming out that have great tools. So as long as you're leveraging those, it doesn't matter what phone. I mean, you can have a flip phone as long as you're using it. Just use it.
I think that this is more of a topic to go out there. So Google, right? So you can go Google, actually go to YouTube and look at like the top 10 things that I don't know about my phone. Whether it's iPhone or Android or Google,
I haven't done
there's all these unboxings out there. Like I have the iPhone 11 now, and I want to learn to use the camera better.
Yeah,
you know, and so I've gone out there and I started watching these things because it has this wide angle lens and this low light setting on it that's pretty cool, you know, but I don't know anything about it. And how can I get the most out of it? As I sit here and I go watch the tips and tricks and these videos that they put out, and they're great because I start doing the functions more. Like there's that whole half screen thing where you can swipe down and do the half screen. So when you can't reach up with your thumb, you know, that's one thing there. You can turn your keyboard left or right or whatever else. There's all these little tricks. And I learned all those by going out and really just going to YouTube and getting these tips and tricks and these hacks I watch all the time on stuff. And I was just watching one the other day on this phone again, and it was teaching me about the photography. Like I said, I used it over the weekend and took some kick-ass photos, you know, to where I posted them. People like, you know, what camera are you using? Is that Canon M50? I'm like, no, that's my phone, you know? And I mean, I've got a backpack full right there of camera equipment. I don't need anything other than this iPhone right now.
I was at Verizon the other day and I bought a Samsung 10, and I bought one of those new one of those Google Pixels 3s for my wife. And at the store, I was really trying to figure out which one do I want. I'm used to Samsung, but I heard the
Good things about the Pixel.
Giggle has good, pictures or whatever.
Probably Giggle again.
No, I'm doing it on purpose now. But so I was like, well, dang, you get that one, I'll get this one because they only had one of each. But I was probably going to get a Pixel as well. And the other day we tried to plug it into my car's auxiliary port. She doesn't have a speaker jack in that phone, which would mess me up with the microphones that we plug in and everything else. And I just couldn't believe it. We couldn't listen to the show through the auxiliary port.
Yeah, we don't have speaker plugs in our phones either.
A friend of mine was just saying, she's like, I just got the new phone. She's like, it doesn't have a mic port. I was like, yes, it does. It's a charging port. She's like, well, it's different. I'm like, because she had the old headset.
Yeah.
I was like, just get an adapter.
The little adapter, right?
It should come with it. She's like, oh, it has one. I'm like, well, then use it. Use the adapter.
You can still use it through your power port then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you can.
but the newer headphones have the same lightning port. Or USB-C
Because you can do
port
it
thing
with a mic also. So like I use the Rode mic, right? So if I'm filming video now, I can put this on the gimbal, and then I can put the Rode mic on there and snap it right into what was the power port, and then I can use the mic on there. So now I have quality audio also, which the iPhone actually has quality audio anyway.
Yeah,
it really does. So go out there, learn what it is. I memean, go and learn everything. If you have Google and do Google Calendar on your phone, or if you use all the Apple stuff on your phone,
set reminders. That's a big one that I was having this conversation over the weekend. Is as business grows or as life expands, you try and remember and work like you have before, and like, oh, I'll remember these things. I'll remember to contact this person, or I'll remember to do that. I said, like, I don't do that anymore because I know I'll forget. And I tell people, and we've had this conversation before on other podcasts, if you don't put it on my calendar, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to remember. I'm completely pass it up, and then you'll be messaging me later like, what happened?
Yeah, and I'm completely horrible with my calendar. I have, I think everybody in this room, everybody in the building has access to my calendar, and it still takes people like, oh, by the way, you have this today. You know, it still takes my assistant to come in and say,
what are you doing here?
you have this today, or I could say like, what day am I meeting the accountant? She's like, I just did this a minute ago, like 8:30 on the 2nd. And I'm like, okay, she's like, it's in your calendar. I was like, well, I don't look at it, and
that's why notifications and your reminders
I just shut off all my notifications. Actually, I actually just went through my whole phone, and I got the new watch also, and I shut off every single notification because I'm going to get it, right? But it causes such bad squirrel moments, that I needed to stop getting notifications from every single email. I mean, I've got 5 emails directed to us where we have info@realestateontherocks.com. I've got, Dave at snowburgerrealty.com. I've got snowburgerrealtygroup.com. I've got everything, and it's just like, I have them directed into one place, but they all chime at different times. And it's distracting, and I mean, my ringer, I check my phone enough to where I shouldn't have to have any ringers, and I don't think I have any emergencies coming up, that
it should happen at listing appointments, and your phone, your watch goes off, and you look at it, and you got to go somewhere, buddy.
Yeah.
You taking off? You're not interested in what I'm saying?
The vast majority.
Well, that's what I do to you.
Yeah.
I turned off. I did the same, except for email and certain ones. I've turned off the vast majority of all my notifications, just because as much as I need it to tell me what's going on when things are going on, it's still very distracting. I like buzz, and I'm like, oh, I don't care about that.
It really goes to show, like in the morning time when it's my time to lead generate and sit there between 8 and 10, like I don't need all those distractions going into 2020, right? I really don't. And we probably should have put this on the list, is like, limit yourself with distractions, because all of a sudden an email comes in where somebody needs something from me, right? So they need this or they need that, but it can certainly wait an hour. It can wait till the end of the day. It can wait till the next day. However, I want to sit there and get right into it and go look for the document and send it over and take care of it all. And, it just it distracts me from what I should be doing every single day. Right. And so a lot of this stuff is even at the old office, and I haven't done it here yet, where we've got a bid for it right now, but is a phone system. Right. So that way I can take my phone and give it to Melanie, or that I can get it taken away from me. So I at least do my 2 hours of lead gen every day, calling FSBOs, calling, withdrawals and expireds, or doing my follow-up calls is really the big thing. I don't make too many outgoing calls to FSBOs and withdrawals these days, but calling my sphere of influence and making those calls and making those texts. If I have my cell phone with me, it's like boom, ping. oh, someone on Facebook just said something to me, and then I start, and then it goes into a thread, or a coaching client or somebody like that reaches out and asks me a question that can wait an hour. It can wait 2 hours, but I always I have this hyper local thing about, not hyper local, but just this hyper response button in my head that I feel the need to respond right now, and there's a sense of urgency that everything that comes in, and I don't want to keep anybody waiting. I just have to start realizing going into 2020, it's okay to make people wait or have people wait on me for about an hour or 2 hours because I need to do the things that I need to be doing at that time. Okay. Nice little rant there. Marshall, number 2.
I thought that was number 2.
No, I mean, that literally leads. Well,
develop a time management program. So if you're feeling constantly stressed out, missing appointments, you need to have some kind of system and process like you were just mentioning with your calendar.
Time blocking, I would say get into GK's book, Gary Keller's book, The One Thing. I think that's him and the Papasan guy. I know Sean Kokoska is up on that thing too. Get into that book. That's a great book. Helps you with the time blocking, and time blocking is only going to work as much as you put into it, right? So you need to actually hold yourself and have some accountability and keep yourself to a dedicated schedule. Like I talk about all the time is the 8 or the 9 to 11 of lead generation time, right? Those are the times that our doors need to be closed and our little hanger needs to go on the door and say, hey, look, don't bother me right now. This is lead generation time. There's not one thing other than the building's on fire, you should disturb me about, right? And I need to be more purposeful about that because once we just went over this with the whole phone thing is that I always champion myself on being there to help everybody, but I can't help myself. I can't help you if I'm not helping myself. And the only thing that helps me is to do my lead generation every morning and do this stuff. I'm an agent. I come in every single day with the purpose of helping people and to reach out to people, right? And I have set time for that to do it. I used to time block day and night. I used to have it to where at 5 o'clock I would start my calls also, my follow-ups and reach out to people. And it's usually on people's schedule, right?
Yeah.
I'm usually in control of that. So when I tell somebody I'm going to follow up with them, I say, hey, how about 11 o'clock next week or 10:30 next week? I reach back out to you. And I set it for those morning times now. I'm more conscious of doing that stuff. So
makes sense.
Yeah. Number 3.
Get serious about content. So I guess if you've been holding back and was it paralysis? No, not acting because you don't know what to put out.
Paralysis by analysis.
That's what we call it. You're afraid of the camera. I mean, what is it that's holding you back from pushing that stuff
Man,
out?
I want to do a whole episode on this, but let's dive into it a little bit right here. But I'm going to do a whole thing about content creation and what you should be doing and really what you should be doing. Like I'm telling you, you need to be doing this stuff. I just kind of, Marshall doesn't have just with who we're dealing with right now, right? And our group is, Marshall doesn't have a huge problem with this. Guess who does? James Mendez. James Mendez has a big problem with distributing the content because I know that you're filming it and I know that you're doing the things, turning the phone around and shooting some video here and there or shooting this, the podcast live or going on certain things that we go on, you're shooting it, but I'm not seeing the content make it out there. It doesn't make it out of your memory card. And so that's kind of painstaking. And so we're going to work a lot. So I've got a lot about this coming up soon. I want to do a whole episode on content creation. However, I want everybody to know the outlets is pick one. You don't have to do all avenues of you don't have to, just master the YouTube page. You don't have to master Facebook. You don't have to master Instagram. You can really you don't have to master them all together. Is what I'm saying is you can pick one. What's your favorite one? And then have one that supports it. Ours is Facebook. Right. So we have our certainly our personal pages. Then we have our business pages, and then we have hyperlocal agents. Right. So it was Top Shelf Agents. Now we switched it over to Hyperlocal Agents. Hyperlocal Agents is going to be all about this topic. And so we'll probably tie it in to where we can do more about this topic and then really what Hyperlocal is about. And then everything to help us hit our 100 videos for 2020 is we're going to pour into Hyperlocal Agents so people can see what we're doing to give people more ideas. But the way of content is going these days is the mainstream is going to be shooting more video, lots of pictures, and being more vulnerable and putting yourself out there, right? And then you don't really need to come up with a persona. You don't need to be cool. Remember, your clients are going to meet you, the real you. So you don't want to pretend that you're somebody that you're not. right?
Who are you?
Yeah, right. Well, it's just kind of like you come in there with all this bravado about how cool and great you are, and then they meet you, and you're
don't
kind
say
of
a word.
timid. Yeah, you're kind of timid. You're kind of it doesn't really kind of convey, right? So you need to really just be yourself. I do it all the time. Like I talk about this here and there, but I'm a scatterbrain. Right, I sit here and I talk and I say a lot, and I just kind of reach for my words a lot, and I try to see what's the best phrase I can use here. And when I meet people, this is exactly how I am in public. This is exactly how I am when you get around me, right? And so that was always hard for me to do, right? And so I shoot video and I sit there and I start talking. I always wanted it polished, so I do 50 takes on something, right? Then I learned how to edit things, right? So where I could do a take and then just speak for 10 seconds and then speak for another 10 and then just get it all together, right? Now I don't even do that anymore either. Now I just talk freely for a minute or 2 minutes or whatever else. And if I say,
You say something like giggles.
yeah,
When you mean googles.
and so I just be authentic, right?
Yeah.
Choose your avenue you want to go. It just kind of, you don't need a massive YouTube page. Of course you want to build that. You want it there. YouTube is how you really can be searched out there, right? So if you're building your brand, you definitely want to do YouTube. However, if most of your audience is on Facebook, then be on Facebook. There's nothing wrong with that. If most of your audience is on Instagram, then be on Instagram. If you've got huge Twitter followers and your group's all about Twitter, then get on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know of any other groups other than that. I mean, I'm not going to do dance videos on TikTok, but I keep
Man, I've
seeing
been practicing all weekend.
There's a lot of TikTok.
I keep seeing some of these real estate gurus around the industry saying, get on TikTok. It's the next, and that's all being fueled, I believe, from Gary Vee. Saying how great a platform it is to be on TikTok. If I'm distributing content on TikTok for raising, what would that be? Just kind of raising
it's more community based.
It's for kids.
It's
now
for,
Gary Vee, I can see
it's for a
doing
lot of
that because he's growing. He's trying to grow a generation that's going to keep watching him, right? And so as soon as people my age or your age start tuning him out, which will be any time now, he's raising another generation that will continue to watch him, right? That's a smart move. Gary Keller's doing that.
Yeah.
That explains a lot of stuff that Gary Keller does with Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Right. As he brings these young people in to speak with them because it's the next generation of agents right now. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's a smart thing to do. However, I'm not necessarily looking for the next generation of buyers in the 12 to 13-year-old kid right now.
Yeah.
Or like Morgan's on it, a 9-year-old kid. I'm not looking for that. However, I see what they're doing. The game plan's good. It's strong.
It's good. You can create a good community of people. You get known throughout the area. For your for dancing or music or for singing and just doing that stuff.
Not me.
It's
not
just
me.
a creative outlet for
just keep
for
checking
certain
the
people.
boxes of not me. Not me. Not me.
It's
not
just,
me.
I mean, it's clearly not for everybody, but it's a good creative outlet. There's some people that's very much their
I
personality.
know Marshall was on TikTok.
And you can go through that.
Like 30 seconds. I felt old and dirty. I had to get off there really quickly. It's like, this is kids.
Yeah,
Young
this is kids.
And they don't want to see me dance and sing. I don't want to see them dance
Yeah,
and
but
sing.
I keep seeing realtors from around the U.S. talk about this, and just kind of get on TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, you're missing out. I'm like, what am I missing out on? I don't understand it. However, to each their own. My platform is Facebook, right? And I back it up with the Instagram. I've got 4 Instagram pages where I do certain things. Yeah. I've got Dave Snowberger Realtor. I've got Wilco Eats. I've got hyperlocal agents on there, and then I've got a new concept that we have coming out soon.
Yep.
With Reloadus. So, since as soon as we launch Reloadus, I'll go full blast on that. However, right now there's just a teaser page on there,
Yeah.
And so I like that a lot. Anything on that?
Number 4, learn something new. You're never too old to learn new tricks. So it's time to figure out that video editing software. It's time to figure out that camera that you've been meaning to use. Learn something new that's going to benefit your business.
Yeah.
Like the soundboard or something,
Yeah, learn how to save episodes on a soundboard.
And how to record them properly.
Yeah, how to record them properly. And
I don't see anybody else here trying to record anything else.
when audio sucks, and just kind of learn how to fix it. So,
I already got that skill.
No, it goes a lot with up here. Is a lot of people say that I hate hearing people. And this is from Gary Vee. Yeah, it's just kind of like it's like, oh, I'm not technical. I'm not a techie. Like you don't have to be a techie to input something into the MLS. You know, you don't have to be a techie to check your email on your phone. You know, that's not a techie thing. And so I love what he says, though, is like, you know, well, you didn't know how to drive and you figured that out. You know, so it's the same thing with technology. If you don't know how to press record on your cell phone and do a 30-second video at, you know, one of your open houses or something like that. And then I want to do a whole episode on that, too, of marketing, of stop doing this marketing of the Blair Witch Project and jumping all around some open house, and stop tagging all your friends, you know, 99 people in a post that you want them to see. All you're doing is teaching people to delete you, mute you, ignore you, whatever else.
Snooze you for 30 days.
Snooze you for 30 days. Anyway, so learn something new. I mean, YouTube is out there. We're in the generation right now where it's the information age. Everything is out there that you want to learn. I mean, we've looked at things from, I mean, I was on the other day and I was like, oh, I want to learn how to do this, start this company. You know, is there a business plan for this? And sure enough, there it was. There was a business plan for it, a step-by-step thing where a guy sat there and talked. I mean, shit, when I got into podcasting, you know, I Googled how to become a podcaster, right? Yeah. And all these guys had thousands of dollars of equipment and everything else. And then I tripped across some people that had iPhones with their earbuds, you know, and then we're putting it together on their phones.
People are doing it on Anchor. They're doing it like literally anywhere you can.
Yeah. And then we read a little bit more about it. You know, Marshall and I started reading, and we started recording more podcasts, getting used to each other, you know, just kind of doing this stuff. We would record ourselves talking on the phone.
Nonsense for like an hour.
Yeah. It's like like on the way home, we would just start talking into the phones just to get used to talking so much. And it's just like, man, I can't make it past 8 minutes. Look at me now. I can't shut up, you know? So
like cut people off and be like, yo, it's been 45 minutes. We got to go.
Yeah. No, we sit in the studio all the time and we look at the clock and it's like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Like 45 minutes and we still have so much to talk about, you know?
Right.
So
there's also a lot of online classes you can take as far as like career progression, stuff
absolutely.
About, you know, learning how to communicate better, how to be a better, you know, teammate. There's just tons of stuff online. And another good one that people have been doing is traveling for classes. If you can do like a weekend class out of your area, it's great for setting up referral partners and communicating with people and trying to, you know, drum up more business.
Yeah. I've been in this mode of pretty much for the past year, and it's still evolving. And I'm glad I started a year ago, is more and more about leadership. You know, and just identifying that, you know, this business these days is about leadership and it's about partnerships, and it's not about being a dictator and saying this is the way this goes and that's it. You know, it's about having a partnership and pulling everybody into the room together and making everybody feel important and making sure everybody achieves all their goals. I mean, I've learned a ton from that, you know, and just kind of that's all I'll continue to take in for 2020 is mostly about leadership, you know. And then obviously all my hardware stuff, you know, more camera stuff, more shooting videos, more editing. I'll continue to learn that stuff every single day. I learn, you know, new apps every day. You know, I'm on Over all the time. I just re-downloaded and actually spent the $100 on Ripple, RIPL, great app. You know, and so you can do things with Over, and then I can bring it right over to Ripple and make a little movie type thing or a little 10, 15, 30-second spot and then put it out there. And, you know, that's $215 worth of apps right there. So I better go out and learn them, right? Because, you know, one thing I hate to do is waste money. And so I've learned Over, like, I mean, I can go into Over, create some marketing stuff. If you ever want to see the stuff I do, take a look at Hyperlocal Agents or on my personal page, Dave Snowberger, and go look at my stories. And every morning I create something for Snowberger Realty Group or the podcast, you know, and I put it out there, and I can basically sit down on my phone, have about 15 minutes, create something, and then execute it and bring it to the public within 15 minutes. Yeah. That's learned. That's a learned behavior, right? I went out and learned how to do that stuff. You know, a year or two ago, I would be like, oh man, I need to pay somebody to do all this stuff. Yeah. I've created my own logos, you know, for the businesses, all the businesses that we have, you know, everything that we do. I mean, everything was created. Every once in a while, I'll send something over to Fiverr to get it done, and it comes back and I'm like, I like my stuff better. You know? And that's not ego. It's just kind of like it just turned out. I knew what I wanted in my head so I could execute it versus me trying to put it on paper and have somebody else execute, you know? So I've learned, once again, I went out and learned that I think I execute better than spending money on somebody else. Right. Yeah. And so
through practice and stuff, there's a bunch of free ones you can get too that, you know, before you go out and spend all that money that are good.
Both of those have free stuff. I got to a certain point to where I needed more out of them. And the only way to do it was to get that. You know, I can go to Teams now. and get everybody in the room, but $60 a month, right? And I'm like, if I do that and spend $60 a month, like the amount of content you mother hubbard should be putting out should be, $600 worth of content a week for me to do that, right? I need a 10x return on my $60, and I don't think I'll get that. So we'll just keep the one in-house right now at $99, and you guys can borrow the iPad to do your own stuff whenever,
Yeah.
So anyway, number 4, set your, what is it?
Learn something new. We're on number 5.
Oh, my bad. Welcome to the podcast, Dave.
Number 5, take care of yourself. Whether you're starting a new exercise program, starting to eat healthier, or maybe taking in some new books, you're always want to be improving yourself, because how can you help anyone else when you can't help yourself?
Yeah, we brought that up earlier. So what are you doing in 2020, Marshall, to help improve yourself?
Taking in more books, and I'm eating healthier.
Yeah.
I can't commit to Orange Theory like you do, but I'll get there.
You could. That's a mindset.
It's a mindset for next year.
Yeah, for 2021 for sure. This whole eating right thing works out.
For 2020, I'm committing to not doing that.
Yeah.
No, I have been exercising more, but it's been with the kids. They learn how to ride their bikes, so we've been going to Brushy, riding the bikes a lot more. I go outside, play football, frisbee, all those little things that he makes me chase down the street. And so I've been getting some exercise.
There you go, walking your dog a little bit here.
Walking the dog a little bit more. I got a new leash lead for her that works awesome, so she's no longer pulling me down the street.
Yeah.
So I'm just getting out there, being a little bit more active instead of just sitting down on the couch.
That's one of my things, is to walk the dog more. I go to Orange Theory in the morning 5 days a week pretty much.
She behaves a little bit better too when you give them a little walk.
Yeah, I notice my guys when I come home after them being in the house for 7-8 hours in a day, and I come home and then I've got to just swing in and swing out. I'm like, hey guys. Yeah, they're like, well, we're going to chew this rug now.
Right here.
I'm going to take this colossal just poopy right here, this big stinky right here in the middle of your living room, just to show you not to leave me at home anymore. So that's one of my resolutions, is to spend more time with my pups. I just took one of them for his birthday. That sounds really weird.
We bought mine ice cream yesterday, so it's whatever.
Yeah. We bought, it's his birthday, so we bought him a cake. He gets that today, but the 29th. Anyway, so I took him down to the coast and saw my parents, and my mom has never met my dogs, comes in. She's like, oh my God, is that a horse? Like, he's so big,
New favorites.
Yeah.
Bye, Dave.
Anyway, had a good time doing that. But the practice self-care it's a must, right? You have to be in a good mindset to do what we do for a living every single day. You can't walk in and be in a horrible place and hope that your career will flourish, right? I mean, you can't come in. Work. Like if you're just a drama magnet, you really need to work past all those things. I would suggest maybe reading a book like Think and Grow Rich right now. And there's some other books out there that are just kind of self-improvement and those things that are detrimental to your health, your career. You got to let all those things go. You've got to stop being influenced by other agents around you, maybe your ego, maybe family members that don't support you 100%. You really need to get into it. Yeah. And let all that stuff go. And that's all about self-improvement and making the decision to thrive. I mean, I've brought this up in the past, but to make no decision on doing something, that's making a decision. You're making the wrong decision. Yeah. To not do anything. And if you're not seeing the results, our show has directed it, those newer agents coming in, or maybe agents that have a little bit of experience and are struggling, or experienced agents that might need a kind of an uplift of how do I do this again for another year. It really starts here. This list is a little bit backwards to me, but the self-care and self-improvement is what this should all be about. Every morning you should spend time getting up in the morning, a little bit earlier. If you sleep till 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the day and you think you're a real estate agent, you're just that. You're thinking you're a real estate agent. Yeah. I know that I say this stuff sometimes and like, man, I crush 100 deals a year and I sleep till noon every single day. Cool. How late are you up working? Yeah. If you're just completely reverse, and you work better through the hours of the night doing all your marketing, cool. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones that are fooled by thinking this is just going to happen for them. Yeah. And I'll tell you where it can start happening for you is the self-improvement. Is learning, be learning based, learn how to take better care of yourself, learn what exercise can do for you, learn what a 15 to 30 minute brisk walk every single day, what that would turn into if you just decided to do it for a month. Right. Yeah. And using the compounding effect and a lot of these things that we talked about today is if you start off in these little bites and you don't really shock in all your system,
Yeah.
You'll probably have more success. I mean, read one page of a new book or of a self-improvement book every single day. If you have Audible and don't have time, or you have YouTube, or want to hear the stuff on the internet, listen to it for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes in the morning before you start your routine. That's the biggest thing right there. What I just said is come up with a routine.
Yeah.
What does your routine consist of every single day? Should you wake up every morning? What's your routine? I'll give you mine real quick if anybody actually cares, but I get up at 5:30. I've got to be at the gym. The class starts at 6:15. I usually takes 15 minutes right about to get there to walk in right on time, grab my number 13 treadmill every single time, but for that first 30 minutes, then I'm up is kind of, like shaking off the cobwebs, not wanting to go to the gym, fighting the mental, the mindset that, I shouldn't go today. It's worth $12 not to go in.
It's cold out there.
Yeah, it's too cold today, which I left the house without a jacket. It was 25 degrees at my house. But I had started my car, so it was a little bit warm. But anyway, I get up, I sit down with my cell phone, I kind of pat my dogs on the head, and I get there and I open Over, the app, or now Ripple, and I sit there and I'm learning how to use Ripple better.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at Over, and so I sit there and I do one or two advertisements, then I put them into my stories, and then I look up, I drink my Zip Fizz that I get from Costco, right? Vitamin B12 drink, and then I do my vitamins. And then I chug the water and I get the hell out and I drive up there. I do Orange Theory. I come back. I sit back down at the bar. I open my phone again and I do kind of just like engagements into Facebook, right? So I post on people's stuff. I like people's stuff. I comment on people's stuff. And, I get going from there. Then it's shower time. Then shower, boom, podcast time, over to the office, right? So I listen to a podcast every single morning on the way over here, and not just our podcast. I listen to a bunch of them. I listen to one of my, one of my favorite ones only comes out on Thursdays, so I only listen to that one when it comes out on Thursdays. But there's other stuff I listen to out there, or my Audible books. If I don't have a podcast that's current, I listen to a bunch of people that only put out episodes once a week. We put out 3 a week.
Yeah.
Right. So. And that's my routine. Then I get into work. We talk for a little bit. We do our rev up, right? So we do the rev up and we say, hey, how great we are. Our affirmation for the day. Hey, we're going to crush it today. We change our physiology. We get into the room. We start to say, let's go. Boom, doors close. We get into our lead gen stuff. What are we going to do, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's a lead gen of posting ads or getting into KV Core and doing what's that called? A landing page or a click funnel, whatever it's called. Squeeze page and start doing these things. And then lunch comes up, we start talking, and then we hit lunch, right?
I love it.
And then we go on appointments. Yeah, lunch is my favorite time.
My favorite subject.
So anyway, that's a look into my day. Marsh, what you got going on?
Pretty much same thing. I'm up by at least 6 o'clock, if not earlier, and I jump on the social media. I wake up as, making posts, making content, get up, get breakfast, get in the shower, help with the kids if I have to, and then I'm off to work.
Anywhere in there, did we mention anything about being negative?
No.
Did we dwell on anything that we shouldn't be doing every single morning?
No.
I think we've learned, because I mean we've had some people on the team in the past that I think had more of that negativity mindset where there was something not going right in their lives and they would blame the problems on that,
Yeah.
and just kind of they couldn't lead Jen today because had a fight with my sister, I had a fight with my husband, my wife, I had a fight with somebody, and they bring that shit to work, and it's just like, man, you can't do that.
Don't get angry in the morning.
Yeah, you just have to kind of like let everything go. But it took me a while to get over that stuff or kind of learn how to not let any negativity into my life. I cut news out, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't listen to news in the morning. I don't listen to music in the morning. I take in strictly books or podcasts or something that I can learn from. Mm-hmm. Way back when it used to be Tom Ferry, right? Way back when it used to be Mike Ferry. Then it evolved into Tom Ferry.
Back.
Yeah, then it evolved into Tom Ferry, and now it's evolved into Tony Robbins even more now. And so I've got the whole group kicking on Tony Robbins right now, and then I got the whole group checking out Think and Grow Rich again. I'm Think and Grow Rich at least 5 times right now.
Yeah,
I've heard that book, and so I've got one sitting right here which I've read 2 or 3 times. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's a fantastic book, and you can get these things for pennies. $14, $15 a month is a subscription to Audible.
I think YouTube even carries them for free.
Yeah, most YouTube stuff out there, you just have to keep the app open if you're not paying for YouTube Red.
Yeah, I'll post a link on for Audible membership. in our group.
Oh yeah,
Hyperlocal
you
agents.
should. You should.
Oh.
What do they get? Their first book for free?
Yeah, believe so.
Yeah.
Nice.
And just remember, if you're going to cancel it,
30-day trial.
Yeah, you have to put your credit card in, but just set a reminder in your phone. Once again, you can go back up to how to use your phone a little bit better and start your reminders in Google that the day before it's due to bill you, cancel.
Yeah.
You know?
Or keep it going and invest in yourself for 2020.
That's what I would do. If you can't afford, I got on
up some
someone's.
credits.
I won't call any names out here, Marshall. But I got on someone's ass for not affording $15 a month to help out their career. And ever since they talk about how many books they have now and how well they're doing with their self improvement. Oh, I read this book and citing certain things. I absolutely love to hear that from And so before it was like,
Who's doing that?
okay. You can use my Audible. You can log into my Audible. And then I sat there and I thought about that and I was like, who can't afford $15 frickin' a month? To help themselves. It made no sense to me.
Be ashamed of yourself, man.
I don't have Audible yet.
That's a couple coffees.
Yeah.
I have somebody else's Audible account.
Do you really?
Well, because I was looking for a book. And then a friend's like, "Oh, I have that book and a couple other ones." So I was like, "Oh, cool. I'll check it out." So I used it, and then her and her husband throw new books on there. I'm like, "Oh, that's a really interesting book." So I'm down. I think I've 3 in the past couple of months.
Yeah.
Or no.
You're that one guy that steals the
2 in December.
passwords and everything.
No, so I was just gonna say, like one of my dirtbag friends is like, "Oh, so you got Disney Plus, man? Can I get your login?" Like, yeah.
What do you got for me?
You can just split it with me. It's $70 a year, so give me half, and just kind of go. But like I call and give my sister the login, like, hey, give your kid Jake, give him the login to my Disney Plus. No need for you guys to, because all I'm watching is Mandalorian, and I watched some of the Avenger movies, completely disappointed in those.
My
things.
sister logged into the thing and didn't log out, so. Disney Plus. I'll probably get my own.
That's how we first got Hulu.
I thought you got it with Hulu.
No, she has Hulu already. So I was like, we can get the combination, but she has Hulu with ESPN.
Yeah.
And so now we have it separate. So I don't know. Eventually, I'm sure.
Well, right
we'll
now, I have all these
it.
free things. So I have Disney Plus. I got a free thing for, what's it called? Hulu. And I got a free thing for Apple TV. Right? And all of them are set to bill me like 1 year from now, December 2020 or December 2020.
We're gonna have a new episode of December 2020 when Dave's crying.
I'm gonna go broke in December 2020 from all the subscriptions that I have.
You have
right
3,000 in charges for your subscriptions.
Yeah, and I do. I'm bad though. I have my mom's Netflix, so I will admit that. I was like, I have my mom's Netflix, and it even says like I logged in at their house the other day, and they see like you can do icons.
What shows you've been watching?
Well, you can do icons of who it is, and like my dad for some reason went over to Netflix, so I was just visiting them, and pops it up, and he's like, "How'd you get on here?" and I was like, "Don't worry about it. You don't pay for it. Mom does." Because that's my dad right there. He's just like me. He's like, well, the 3 of us watch it. Yeah, it's $10 a month or whatever. 3 of us watch it. We're going to need $3.33 from you.
That's awesome.
But all right, man. Well, let's go ahead and get out of here today. We're kind of mumbling at this point, rambling on. We certainly appreciate it, man. Have a good year. If you need anything from us, reach out to us at what?
info@realestateontherocks.com.
He's trying to tell me what to say, and I'm like, huh? But anyway, info@realestateontherocks.com. You can always reach us there. What else? What's that?
5-star review.
You can just start saying it, bro.
We need 5-star reviews so we can help spread the word to our community and to the people who who haven't heard about us yet. So we appreciate the reviews.
Yeah, if you find this helpful in any way, please share it with a friend, with a fellow realtor. We've had some insurance folks and we've had some lenders think that the show is valuable to them. So once again, we really appreciate it if you share it. Hit that 5-star review button. What else, Marshall?
Don't forget to join Marshall Tucker's referral network. Just send me an email over to info@realestateontherocks and I'll get you signed up.
Okay. Can't they just go to Facebook?
You can go to Facebook. Text me on Facebook.
I think it's easier instead of sitting down and informing you an email.
I don't care how you reach out.
There you go.
Connect.
There you go. Let's connect. My name's Marshall Tucker. Let's do it. Yeah, I look weird right now when I do that face. Anyway. Happy New Year. I'm out of here.
I'm out.